Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion. This programme is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the programme. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. I'm back, we're back at the British Grand Prix for what should hopefully be another, hopefully slightly less chaotic for the shooting team, but equally dramatic and fantastic Grand Prix in Formula Virtual Racing. It's round 9 of the Season 11 Championship. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch once again, and we are joined by a man who had the pleasure of covering the chaotic action last time out. Brendan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Lola. As well as I can be after that long Stuart investigating session, I'd say. I was very much, we did have a lot of incidents, and hopefully they will calm down this week, but also a lot of action, so hopefully we'll get to see some clean side-by-side action this week, particularly at one of the best circuits in F1, Silverstone, and admittedly, one of the few circuits where you would say it is actually not as good in the game as it is in real life. Because you can get a lot of DRS trains, but that does mean when the action does come, it is always very good.
And a bit of drama coming into the race week, of course. Two drivers are sitting on the sidelines this week. Leroy Vinchendel and Avesta Gobadi, both receiving race bans for action last week in Monza. Leroy, watching the stream, says 14 people. Could have been 15, Chief, but you decided Nils Hartl needed the gravel. Legend Rosenberg is the first man to get his qualifying underway here at the British Grand Prix. He means business. Of course, was taken out at the Curva Alboreto at the Italian Grand Prix last time out. And now that puts him in a deficit in the championship. Luke Davies has a comfortable lead coming into his home Grand Prix. Well, I say comfortable. Nothing's comfortable when Legend Rosenberg is behind you, but it is a relatively good lead for Luke Davies. It's probably all he could ask for at this stage in the season, and he has that lead indeed. Then it is Avesta Gobadi in third, who will lose more points here today, well, bearing in mind the result, of course, but he is in third and on the sidelines. Then Tyler Davison in fourth will be hoping to claw back in some points on the championship, but really he needs something to go wrong for Legend and Luke if he wants to try and take it. Then Karen Dulger still being best of the championship protagonists, I suppose you could say, in fifth position. Karen did inherit the podium on post-race penalties last week, but then there was an appeal process conducted, and unfortunately he was demoted down the grid. But let's get the laps under the board then. What's everybody got to beat? It's a 24.8. Yeah, that's quite a good lap from Legend. I'm not sure if that will be beaten for quite some time. Usually qualifying at Silverstone is quite large and the gaps are quite big, but then the race can be a completely different story due to DRS trains. But we'll wait and see. Luke Davies heading in towards the final couple of corners in towards the club right-hander. What can he put up against his championship rival? It's 7/10 adrift. That's not ideal to start this evening.
Yeah, It's not the best thing for, well, let's just put bluntly, the ego. Because you're trying to be a championship leader, you want to be try and keep that championship lead, but when you find the guy behind you is 7 tenths ahead of you in qualifying, it probably dampens the spirits a little. Although Lukey is still ahead of the other main British driver, who is here today. That would be Tyler, obviously. Lewis still recovering, so he can really participate. Although he has said he wants to join with on pad with ABS.
Yeah, that's not
So
happening, Lewis. You have not driven pad for about 3.5 years.
yeah, I probably do as good of a job in that case because neither of us are really I really tried pads in 3.5 years.
And Brendan drives with 1 foot, so that goes to show. Here's Tyler Pistilli riding through the final corner. He is doing his usual qualifying process. It's nice to have Pistilli back. We haven't had Tyler all season. He, of course, drove for AlphaTauri last season, won the Hungarian Grand Prix, was on pole for the Chinese Grand Prix the season before, so a bit of talent beneath the wheel. He also doesn't like our Similis clothing advert. He's very much a hater of that. Similis clothing, or whatever way I say it, he absolutely hates it and despises it, so keep that in note when the Similis clothing ad comes on during the commercial break. Thomas Main, purple first sector, seemingly. His first lap was not a real representation of pace, of course. He's looking for something a little bit more. Another man who was penalised by the stewards last week, of course, Thomas Main, for an incident in towards the first corner. I can't really remember who it was with, despite the 6-hour argument afterwards. But that's another point for later on. Thomas in towards Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Britain, a track we've never seen much from Thomas Main, but he was the first ever winner around here in the first ever race. He won the FVR British Grand Prix in season number 1 for Scuderia Ferrari, and also I was going through the statistics last night because why not? And Scuderia Ferrari, they've not won a race since season 6 of FVR. That quite shocked me, to be honest. Meaning that they have more recently become. No, sorry, no. I was going to say they've more recently become constructors champions, but they were constructors champions in season 5, not in season 6. But Thomas Main, second on the grid, marginally half a tenth to be exact, ahead of Luke
Right.
Davies.
No, they were season 6.
Oh, were they? I was right the first time.
Yes, yeah, because that's season 6. Obviously, the legend was never to find the race, and that's what cost Red Bull the championship.
That race was won by Brady Pollock, or was it Jack Redmond?
Jack Redmond, Pollock, did he win
He
the
was season
season
5.
5 one?
I know in Singapore we've never had a repeat winner, and we've had some of the most random winners in FVR history.
Yeah, because it often is the last race of the season in a way, so you probably just get it does allow for a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, it was Jack Redmond. Just double check that. In terms of the calendar for this season, Singapore is to come. It's not the last race of the season, however, it's next weekend. And then we have Qatar and Abu Dhabi, so we have a little bit of that side of the world end of the calendar. That's probably not the correct geographical term for that, but you guys get what I mean. We're not in Europe, is what I mean. But here comes Nils Hartel, former podium sitter at the British Grand Prix. Took a podium, and the wet a couple of seasons ago. Vestigo Badi won that race, of course, and he was joined by fellow debutant Maurice Stumer on the podium. Stumer currently in 5th ahead of Enzo King. Good qualifying so far for the AlphaTauri team. They've they haven't locked out the 3rd row. They are spread across the 3rd and 4th rows. That is, of course, Davison on the 3rd row, Stumer on the 4th. Here comes Pistilli running for the final corner. No improvement on that time for Tyler Pistilli. Here's Can Dolger across the line. Can was supposed to be physically heading to London today. He was supposed to be physically here in Great Britain. Unfortunately, he wasn't feeling well, but thankfully he's trying to battle through and put in a bit of a performance here today. Another man who sometimes joins us in the commentary box who also has suffered a bit of ill health recently, Kyle Davis. Kyle, if you're watching, we wish you the best. We hope you get well soon, and we hope you are joining us as Mr. Pitlane reporter sometime in the near future. Adrian Tishy now, the only man not to set a time in qualifying, although Candolger's time is not really representative. Let's see what the Canadian can do. Adrian, of course, was on for a podium one season here in Silverstone. What season do I want to say? I want to try get this one right, so I'm going to try make a prediction. What season would it have been for Adrian Tishy? I'm going to say season 9. Which was 2 seasons ago. Yeah, that would have made sense. Season 9, Adrian was battling for the podium with Maurice Stumer, and that's when the feud started, really.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting here. Fun fact, 14 percent of the grid is made up of tilers.
What a statistic! What an unbelievable
Yeah.
statistic!
Yep, the name Tyler does compromise about 14% of our grid today.
Do you want
About
to know what would have
14
been better if
point.
someone here had a trade as a Tyler? That would have been even funnier. Because then we'd have three, technically. Oh, Adrian, that's a
Yes.
tank slapper for the final corner. He has beaten his fellow Canadian Pistilli, but my goodness me, was it not the conventional way? Big slide for the final corner. Is this safe to predict Legend on pole here?
Yeah.
He's
It
usually
seems like
very
legends.
dominant in qualifying around Silverstone.
Yeah. I do remember he was dominant in qualifying, I believe it was season five. He was so dominant, then he comes up disqualified and he came from the back to win anyway. So in a way, he literally, quite literally, did everything you could ask.
I think
So
the only
yeah,
way he loses, well, I could be making a dumb prediction here, but I think the only way he loses this race today is if someone gets in front of him on the opening laps. Because honestly, with this pace advantage, I can easily see him breaking DRS, which is not a good sign for for those in the championship fight. Specifically, Luke Davies. I think Luke just needs to get a consistent podium here and just let Legend do his own thing.
yeah, it's probably there isn't that much you can do aside from just exist in second place and
Well,
hope that Legend throws himself off the road.
that's a positive lap for everyone other than Legend because he hasn't improved by that much, which goes to show maybe that's his limit. But who knows? Thomas Main just passing Legend, as you can see there. He starts his second run of the session. Really, this is going to be difficult for Luke because, and this is just my opinion. People can have different opinions and call me wrong. I think the only man who's been able to keep with Legend on pure pace wise this season was Avesta, and his championship is going downhill by the minute here in Silverstone.
Yeah, it was going very fine there last week, right up until the
Well,
last,
yeah.
literal last.
We have a promo video before the race. You will see what happened in case you missed it. But yeah, it was intriguing, all right.
Let's just say he could have used a piece of. He went for a surface that wasn't really going to give him grip. Let's just put it that way. Like, and I
Yeah.
know he's probably sick of me mentioning us
And do you want to
mentioning
know, do you want
this,
to know the
but
worst thing as well? Oh,
oh,
actually, let's hold that thought. Luke Davies might once again be trying to prove me wrong. That's not a half bad lap from young Davies. He's now within 4 tenths a second of Rosenberg, which I know doesn't look good, but Legend is always better at qualifying here than races, so race pace might be better. Davison goes third. Can Thomas Main beat the pair of them again? Yes, he can. That's second on the grid. Front row of the grid for Thomas Main, and he is just about marginally ahead of Luke Davies once again. But what I was going to say was, last week in Monza, the worst thing for Avesta Gobadi was if he had just sat behind, he would have won the race, because Legend got a post-race penalty anyways.
yeah, that is true. Legend was penalised, so he could have just sat there, took his win,
And he also
and
didn't have
win
his
the.
3 seconds removed, so it would have been even worse. He would have got a huge haul in the championship.
Yeah, it would have been very much Avesta would have been here racing and with a championship lead. So effectively, that one, well, let's just say misjudgment has effectively turned this whole campaign in a whole other direction.
Yeah, and he's going to be kicking himself a little bit because it seems like Avesta can get so far in a championship fight and then eventually he just completely falls off. Whether it's an external
Mm.
factor, whether it's his own pace or something, it seems like he completely falls off in the later parts of seasons. And then it's done. The man we're looking at currently fought with Avesta Gobadi for an FVRA championship, and statistically, Tyler Davison's comeback over Avesta Gobadi in the FVRA World Championship was the greatest was the largest championship comeback in the history of single-seater motorsport.
You what?
Yes, Pecco Bagnaia second. Oh, Thomas has retired from the session in the pit lane.
Let's see the time here.
How long is actually left? 3:42. He obviously feels that he
Hmm,
can't beat that lap,
that's
or else he's saving
that,
a set of
that's
softs, maybe soft medium. But surely you'd
Hmm.
wait till the end of the session to do your second run then.
Well, all it would take is a marginal improvement from Davies to take second place, but maybe I don't know unless third place is the best place to be, or well, it could even be fourth because Davison isn't that far off.
Well, we'll have to. That's an intriguing one for Thomas Main. But we will wait and see. A good qualifying performance from Morris Stumer here so far. He's in fifth, currently on an outlap. As we will wait and see what happens there in that regards. But yeah, I'm puzzled by that one by Thomas Main. But look, we'll wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's very, very puzzling indeed. Uh, yeah, yeah, and I have to say
Well,
it's just
it's been a good qualifying for Williams so far, this one.
yeah,
Second for Main, seventh for Anderson. Wong Fei coming back on a three-race hiatus. Neil Tartle was being called bad by his teammate Lewis McWilliam, but I think the whole Ferrari team this season has just been bad. They are last
well,
in the
yeah.
constructors' standings
Do keep
by...
in mind, McQueen.
Well, yeah, Lewis has been out
Yeah,
with illness a little bit, so... I'm not saying the two drivers are bad, I'm just saying the season's been bad. They're not
yeah,
last, actually. They're
probably,
seventh. How the hell has that happened? Oh, yeah, Thomas raced for them.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's Tyler Davison now out of the session.
oh,
Is he saving
um,
a set of softs as well?
what is the thought process behind this now?
What
You
on
must
earth is
know.
going on in Silverstone? Because I don't know. I'd like to think some people at home would know, but I'm really not sure. This is ever more looking like a big opportunity for Luke Davies to start in the second row of the grid here. But now he has the knowledge that Tyler and Thomas are both saving a set of softs. That's what I think they're doing anyways. That they're both saving a set of softs for the race and they're going to do a soft medium. But in all truth, I'm not sure. This is when they both save a set of softs and Codemasters has a freaker and decides it's a full wet race.
I mean, you're looking at just a bit of a weird call. I think they now just have to. I don't know. Maybe it's just something else. It could be just something going on in their own head. But, or maybe
Yeah.
they just see no point in using a set of tires if they're just not going to beat Legend. Which would be an unfortunate thing because I think if they're doing that, they're probably accepting that the only thing that can stop Legend is Legend himself.
Which has stopped him in the past. Monaco Grand Prix, 20 plus second lead
Yeah.
into the wall at the Nouvelle chicane. But we will wait and see. I think you make a very good point there. I think they're going to try save a tyre over Rosenberg because this is Legend's third set of softs. Davison and Main would only have used the two. I think they're going to try save a set and hope that they can do a soft medium, which is better than whatever strategy Legend concocts. But let's wait and see what Rosenberg can do. He's heading down towards the right-hander at Copse Corner. Of course, very dramatic corner in the past in Formula 1. Damon Hill saying he used to have to count before he turned in. He'd reach the curb, count to three, sling it in, and hope that it stuck. Good lap from Candolger. He's jumped up to sixth there in the standings. Rosenberg in towards Chapel Curve now, using all the circuit on the outside, even picking up a little bit off the grass. Which we know is not always a good thing in Formula Virtual Racing. But we'll wait and see what he can do. He's coming into the final part of the circuit, built on this old World War II Royal Air Force bomber station. So we'll wait and see. In towards the final corner. This is the Vale chicane. You want to pick up a little bit of the curve on either side, but not that red sausage curve. He's at 24.8 now. Is it going to be anything better from the mighty Dutchman? Across the line, 24.7. Looking unbeatable for now from Legend Rosenberg. But we'll wait and see what Luke Davis can do in response. And Candolger is all firing. Oh no, apologies. That was Julius Gassner actually pulling out of the way. I was going to say his all firing partner Candolger pulling out of the way, but no, it was Julius. Let's see. Luke's middle sector. Oh, he's not finding time here, is Luke. He needs to find a little bit more in this final sector, and then he'll be on the front row of the grid for his home Grand Prix. Wongfi Anderson goes to fifth spot. Borbune goes to sixth spot. Is Enzo King coming to the line? He is. He'll be coming to the line just before the McLaren. And Luke Davies was a podium last time out for Enzo King at the Italian Grand Prix. Can he repeat the feat here in Monza? No, not up to third. Can Davies beat Main?
Oh,
No, he can't. It is a thousandth of a second behind the Belgian of Thomas Main, but it's not enough for Luke Davies.
Yeah, and that's it. To be legend Thomas Main and then Luke Davies.
Well, we're going to just run you through the results quickly because we do, of course, have to go to our ad break. But it is Legend Rosenberg who's on pole position with Thomas Main alongside him on the front row. Then it's Luke Davies, Tyler Davison, Wong Fei Anderson, Tim Den Heyer. Then it's Enzo King, Bort Bune, Morris Stu, McCann, Duggan, Nils Hartle, Julius Gassner, Adrian Tishy and Tyler Pistilli. The two Canadians rounding out the bottom of the grid. But Tyler Pistilli, do not fear. Tyler Davison won from 14th here. We'll be back after... or we will have the British Grand Prix, I should say, in a couple of moments. This programme is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the programme.
Here, he's having a look down the inside, but he's not going to go.
This day the inside has been on someone.
Davies had. Oh no! Oh, Luke. Oh. Goodbye. He's going to go for it.
Fake move doesn't work. They hit each other.
Oh.
They're both out. No.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Silverstone. Brendan, I think we're going to the grid in a couple of seconds, so who's your quick prediction? Well, let's hold that thought. I'll ask you that in a minute, as here we go on the grid at Silverstone for the Season 11 Round 9 Uyghur Racing here in Britain. Good launch from Legend Rosenberg, good launch from Tyler Davison, good launch from Luke Davies actually as well. He's up to second already, getting past Thomas Main on the race start. It is a perfect start from Legend Rosenberg though. Davison trying to repeat what he's done here in the past and take over the race in the opening couple of laps. Nils Hartle round in the background. Ferrari's fate, bad fate I should say, continues. The two Brits are side by side heading through the loop and onto the Wellington straight here at Silverstone. The weaving starts early. Luke Davies wants to go up the inside, but Davison's closing the door side by side into the left-hander at Brooklands and then in towards the right-hander at Luffield. We've seen Johnny Herbert and Michael Schumacher, or apologies, Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher crash here in the past and be beneficiaries to Johnny Herbert, but these two are still nip and tuck side by side in towards Cobb's Corner. Can you get closer to this? Davison keeps the race lead. Luke Davies tries to switch back. Verstappen and Hamilton, take a look at this because this is excellent racing on the opening lap. Davison gets the job done in towards Maggots, Beckett and Chapel, but overall it's a disaster of an opening lap for Luke Davies because his championship rival is 2 seconds up the road.
You'd have to wonder, did they not think this would happen?
Here he goes again. Luke Davies up the inside and towards Stowe. Has he got the job done? There's wheel banging between the pair. Thomas Main is looking to get involved in this action as well, as is Tim Den Heyer in the background. He's laughing here because his Haas teammate is gone off into the sunset. Rosenberg leads the opening lap here with the British Grand Prix. Davies still defending from his fellow countryman. Davison trying it round the outside. They're really putting on a show here in the opening lap for the British faithful. Is it going to be a lunge down the inside? No, it isn't. These two have thrown away any chance of a win in the opening lap, but this is truly entertaining.
Oh, And it looks like South is going to win the battle for now because Davison he clipped the inside big raised curb uh, on entry, so that stopped any chance of him going at Davies again. But these two need to settle down, really. It's a long race, and well, they've already let Legend scamper off, let's say.
Two Aston
He's
Martins
almost
battling. This
fourth.
is Can Dulger and Julius Gassner. Oh, that's almost into the wall where Can Dulger had a collision last year. This is the first real time Julius Gassner has had a go at his teammate so far this season, and he's come out the best of it. Actually, sorry here, Brendan. I've just put the tyres on screen. Luke and Tyler are on hards. Legends on softs. Okay, this race isn't over yet.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see now. A mid-race safety car would be what's required, but the problem is Legend's like 4 seconds up the road already. There might be a scenario where he gets the margin that it doesn't actually matter, and that's probably the most
Pastilli and
worrying
Dulger.
thing.
Can Dulger on the inside here as Pastilli's overcooked the brakes, but he will have the inside line for the second part of the Vale chicane and in towards Club Corner, and that is Pastilli. Job done. Seems like Can might be just struggling a little bit here, but we'll wait and see. Yellow flag. Mark Stumer into the pit lane. Oh, that's a safety car or a VSC or something. It's not come up on our screen. That was for Borbune, who spun through the final corner. Borbune now with a lack of front wing. It is a virtual safety car. So VSC. Okay. That's not going to help anyone, really.
Yeah. The only thing that could change now is if Legend doesn't get the best restart or gets a drive-through.
That'd be quite funny, actually.
It would, but you're looking at a scenario where he could still win this anyways.
Yeah, true. DRS is enabled. No drive-through here. Davies been caught napping. Davies was tucked up into bed there, was having a little bit of a snooze, and Davison got the jump on him. But thankfully they were in the middle of the corner, so Davies could still get out of it relatively okay with a little quick flick on of the battery. But 4 seconds is the gap between Legend and Luke. Is there a 4-second gap in 3 laps between softs and hards? Not entirely sure. But was a great first lap. I'm not complaining. It was a brilliant battle between Luke and Tyler.
Yeah. You say Davies was sleeping, but remember, it is past his bedtime. I shouldn't be.
That's a child joke again, folks. First of the evening. Here comes Tyler on the outside of Luke Davies in towards Stowe corner.
Main having a look there too.
Yeah, he's playing it cool here. I like this strategy from Thomas May. Don't forget that. He's going for a lunge down the inside. So much for playing it cool. The Williams wasn't able to get the job done. I'd just like to remind you, despite being a reserve, Thomas is actually third in the championship if he took up a main seat, but he just refuses to. So we can't put him in the standings because that's just the regulation.
I don't know, but I get the feeling this is quite literally like a great philosopher having one single hang-up. And, well, he's gone for the move this time. Maybe around the outside. No, will he set up the exit? And it looks like he's got a decent exit here. And both of them will have DRS. It'll just be... And you see Davies pulling over to the left-hand side. Now to his mate round the outside. They make it stick. No. Davies uses that inside line perfectly. Moves over, closes off the space. Oh, Davison had a little bit of a twitch there. Have to watch it.
Apologies, folks. Just discovered we've no game audio, so you probably hear a humming or something in the background. Hopefully it's all okay now. The game audio should be back in. Oh, here's the 2 Red Bulls. Or I should say the permanent versus the stand-in. This is Enzo King versus Tyler Pastilli. Pastilli's great pace on these hard tyres, to be honest. This is his 3rd medium runner that he's trying to cut through.
Yeah, it seems that these hard tires are doing a good job now. And he's going to get another one of these medium runners this time his teammate. So, another one up.
Swap and change. Davies down to 4th. Remember, Thomas Main and Luke Davies fought here as teammates when Thomas needed a good result against Legend Rosenberg to keep his championship alive. We had our own version of Fernando Alonso racing there. Well, but in that day he was more like Vitaly Petrov, where he kept Thomas behind. Luke got in front of Thomas, overtook Juan in a mere amount of corners, and that was kind of the beginning of the end of the Main and Davies partnership. Then Luke went to McLaren and hasn't looked back since, to be honest.
Yeah, in a way you could argue that was just the moment of truth. Because, well, whatever was blocking Main from making that overtake stick, or whether Juan just knew that Main was could be got at that day because he had a championship to think about, whereas Davies could come in and just take advantage of the situation where Juan was probably a little, he was just a little bit out on his feet at that point. He could get the move done, and then eventually Maine did get past, probably just thinking, oh God, this my teammates have just done in one lap what I'm trying to do in 14. But you see now, Maine, he's got to get into second place now, and will Davison do with Juan?
See, there's an interesting thing with... Oh, look at Thomas
Oh.
Weaving. Is that a bit of showboating? I highly doubt it, but he's got the job done nonetheless on Tyler. Tyler was a bit of a sitting duck there with no DRS. There's an interesting thing in the Maine and Davies relationship, and this is partially why it broke down. It pains Thomas inside to admit that he's slower than Luke, and parts of that season he was slower than Luke. Parts in every season he's slower than Luke, and it still pains him. And Luke Davies hates to be a number 2 driver. He loves to be the main man, and that's kind of why he won a championship, because he found a perfect second teammate, really, in the form of Cam Dolga. Cam was able to pick up points here and there. Obviously, won a Constructors' Championship with Borbune as well. That was a perfect relationship because that was one of Bune's best seasons in FVR, and Thomas did not find his match made in heaven. Luke found 2 of them.
Yeah, I think it's just two different people. Sometimes it's easier to find a match than others.
Yes,
Maybe
exactly.
some
I agree
people-
with you. I have that problem.
Yeah. Oh God.
No,
not
I
going
found
there.
my match. I found my commentator with Brendan. We could make jokes. Gap actually has
Oh,
come
yeah.
down between Legend and Thomas. Can't believe I've just said that, but it has. It's now under 5 seconds for the first time in
Oh.
quite a while.
Maybe Thomas has heard us.
Maybe, and Thomas has decided, you know what, I'm going to absolutely cook here. But if we do look at the battery, Legend is in saving mode here, and he's going to try extend the soft tyre life as much as possible.
Oh.
Wang Fei Anderson,
Penalty.
3-second time penalty, first penalty of the day. Can't imagine it'll be the last here. Silverstone can be a tricky one on track limits.
The city. Oh, nearly got the outside. Now we'll go for the switch. Will it be the outside of top corner? He just make that mistake. Get the inside this time. He's got. Oh, decent thing made contact. Tim was not ready to give that one up.
No, and Tim now is under pressure from Wang Fei Anderson. Is Anderson going to look for it into the first corner? Oh, that was close between bumper and rear wing, and there's no bumper in a Formula 1 car, but back at the gearbox, I suppose you could say. Is Wang Fei Anderson going to lunge it? No, chooses not to. This is a very intriguing battle, as Enzo King going to try up the inside here. He's going to try follow his teammate, and this is Enzo King up the inside of the Williams,
Oh,
not
good tap.
able to make it work. I've just got an invite to play F1 23. I'm on my merry way. Goodbye, folks.
Oh no. Who from?
It was from ERT Nick, who runs One Hub Racing, which is a league that races on Sundays.
Oh, right. So
Look at me, Mr. Popular.
a day.
Oh, yellow
They
flag.
are
Oh,
the
it's Adrian
motorsport.
Tishy. That is the Canadian who's gone round on the exit of Luffield, heading in towards Woodcut. And, yeah, that's not good for Adrian. We had an incident there last season, of course, Niels Hartl and Can Duggar, that brought out a safety car, but this was just a tip round, really, for Adrian. Unfortunate, as I'm not too sure we will actually get a safety car here today, so it could be very difficult for him to come back into this race. As Davison passed Main, fairly DRS-ish move, as Legends decided that he didn't like being clawed in on, and now the gap is 6 seconds. As you do.
I may have just switched on to him at the last. Oh no! That's Main off.
That is Thomas Main, who has taken a trip to the gravel right at the moment where he doesn't want to. And that's a harsh penalty. That will be removed probably by the stewards. Oh, and Niels Hartl is off behind him. Thomas Main with a bit of a moment. Brendan, you seem to catch that one. We didn't. Did he go off under his own accord, or was there an external factor?
Very twitchy. Very, very twitchy, which I've noticed a lot with the setups here today. They very much are twitchy, oversteery based setups, which probably doesn't help your confidence because you're just constantly trying to fight the car. In a way,
I don't believe there is such thing as a perfect setup around Silverstone, because either you're going to need your corner speed or your straight line speed. Thomas, I think, here has gone for straight line speed, and it's resulted in him ending up in the gravel. I wonder what sort of setup Legend is running. Let's ride on board with him for a couple of moments. Yeah, he seems to be managing it through the corners. He's not pushing as much as you could, and then obviously with his pace advantage is quick on the straights naturally. But it's a 2-horse race now for second. Davison versus Davies, both British drivers. And look how Tyler Pastilli has emerged here at the front of this race. This is as traditional a Tyler Pastilli drive as I think you can get. Absolute honker of a qualifying, comes back well in the race. And you can see this is Anderson and Den Haier. Battle rages on as Wang Fei Anderson able to go over the inside. Den Haier defends the inside. And now Wang Fei just has to relax off and back off. Maybe a little bit aggressive from Tim, but no harm done. Good racing between the two. This will continue, I would imagine, until the end of the race.
Yeah, I think these two could be very well tied up with each other until the end, with possibility of Enzo King getting involved, and he is getting involved. Down the inside, is looking for that space. Just seems to get away from him then, as in the mid apex of the corner, and you see now, just a little bit of a twitch there, struggling to keep that car in line with Wang Fei, and that means Wang Fei gets away. And I think that's the issue with sometimes these setups. You have all the straight line speed, but you're struggling to get the power down, so it doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, up the front here, it is north v south. And we have to wonder, will a certain Commonwealth member get involved?
Yes, we'll have to wait and see. It is, of course, Yorkshire versus the outskirts of London. And imagine, I don't want to dox either of them, so that's all I'm going to say. Versus a Canadian, eh? And we'll see how that one plays out. Then it is a Dutch driver who's in fifth, just like in first, and then it's a Swede. So we're completely off topic. We're into a different royal family there, but that's not a discussion for us. As yellow flags, Niels Hartel. Oh, has he taken a trip to the wall? He's in the gravel, certainly. He's going to be able to get back out onto the racing surface, and I don't think there's any damage there. So Niels getting away relatively scot-free.
Yeah, well, at least bruised ego, but nothing else, it seems.
Yeah, a bit of a bruised ego there, I think, for Niels Hartel, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah. 7.5, so that gap. Then he had the point where I think Legend clearly thinks that he can go to the mediums now, so you'd wonder, what was the point of the soft tyre? Or of the hard tyre, sorry. Because clearly if...
I've no idea. Sorry, I was doing a bit of an audio check. I've no idea why people have gone for the hards if a soft medium was possible. The only thing I'd imagine is Legend obviously has more intel because he's part of F7R, which is a huge esports organisation. I imagine he's more intel in that regard, and that's why he's able to do a better strategy. And also, he's not had to battle a single car here. He's literally controlling this race. And dare I say he's almost won it, because himself and the two cars behind will almost be going onto the same tyre, and this is Legend, so we'll have to wait and see. Is he into the pits? No, he's continuing on. So this is easily going to be a medium tart in the end.
Yeah, and just like you wonder even still, like somebody wouldn't have took the gamble. Like I get Tim Den Haier did, but I'm surprised Luke maybe didn't even just trying to match Legend strategy, because at least if you match, then whatever you get, and you've tried your best to keep up with them. But I suppose if you go different, you're gambling on maybe something happening, Legend getting it wrong. But when does Legend get it wrong, aside from, well, the occasional moments such as Monaco, which Monaco being the toughest street circuit in Formula One, compared to Silverstone being a tough track, but more open, and you're not going to hit a wall if you are a millimeter off. So you'd wonder.
You would wonder. It's a very intriguing one for Legend Rosenberg. Personally, I can't really see him losing this one, and I don't think anyone can.
Yeah, can't really see him losing this here, unless his car threw him off on its own accord, you had a wheel disconnect, or, well, a poorly timed safety car, which even then you'd be wondering, with the gap he has, would a poorly timed safety car only
I
put a
don't even
slight
think it
little
would
bit of
hamper him at
danger?
this point, really. I think he'd still be fine.
Yeah, like he could pit now, and then in a couple of laps, but even then, if he's gaining time on an undercut, then I wonder, like, now you look, lap 12, he'd probably come in at this point just for the sake of making the stints make sense.
Oh, side by side, this is Adrian Tishy versus Morris Stumer. Oh, Adrian has to catch the car through there. Unfortunate for Adrian. But it's not really hurt him. He could still take points here today. And let's call a spade a spade. Points is the ultimate goal for Adrian Tishy, or at least I'd like to think.
Yeah, I think consistent points is what you'd be looking for, something Adrian Tishy would be looking for. Because, like, obviously, you're not that quick to be up there at the front, but it's not as if you're right at the back every week either. So you just pick up the points where you can. And the ideal person to, like, make an example of using is what Borbune was doing a couple of seasons ago, where he had a very, very long points scoring streak. And that was probably the epitome of a very good midfield driver who could just stay consistent, keep out the mistakes, and take advantage of everyone else making a mistake or just not driving as quick as they could. Obviously, now it seems like he has pitted, I think, so I mean, you have to consider that. But
Legend is in to the pit lane. We've seen our first pitter here today. Zauber and Borbune came in, but our first planned pitter, I suppose you could say, is Legend Rosenberg. Surely it's the medium tyres from here. There's no way it could be someone else. As I do apologise if the stream looks very fuzzy, folks. I think that's something to do with the bit rate, but I've just checked it on my phone and it's not great, so I can only apologise for that. Since I upgraded to a PS5, my streams have gone downhill consistently, so I can only apologise. As Legend is onto the medium tyre. His teammate Tim Denyer is in. Haas, double stack. That's not something you see all the time. When we said Tim just needs to copy Legend, he is doing that. Oh, I can actually change the bit rate, so let me know if you're watching at home, if it starts to look a little bit better, as there is a yellow flag in Sector 3. That's Zauber, who's doing a bit of donuts. It would be the most Legend Rosenberg thing, or Legend Rosenberg Season 11 thing ever if a safety car came out now. He's instantly back into a scrap between himself and Adrian Tishy, and that is Legend getting the job done on Adrian.
Yeah, job is done there, actually. It's best known Legend is out here in 7th. I think the interesting thing with MP, if a safety car did get called at any point here, what would happen? You see Main there, he's 6th. The problem is like, he hasn't pitted because it's just, it kind of fell apart there for Thomas Main. He gotten back up to 2nd, and now you see he's going to be up to 5th now once Condon's with pits. Interesting to see if he can make an overcut work here, because he's the faster driver, but whether the tyres are going to make a difference here. And you see he's going to have to get past his teammate, who's ahead of him on fully, so it might be the easiest task.
Once again, folks, just let me know if the stream is watchable. I'm looking at it now, and there's a lot of fuzziness, so I can only complain. You get all these fancy systems, and still the old PlayStation streams are the way to go. But gap is 2/10 of a second between Luke and Tyler as Williams is swap round. That's Thomas Main getting back past Longfee Anderson. Thomas is not that far behind Luke and Tyler. If you were in Thomas's position here, Brendan, what would you do?
Thomas, yeah, he isn't that far. So maybe he has the pace to be 2nd, and had he not been lost the places at the start, he would have been in a very nice place. I'd say I think he just has to keep doing what he's doing, just keep consistent. Because, well, you see now, Davies has fallen behind Davis' son. You see, they're staying out. Obviously, Thomas is going to be staying out with them. Best thing to do here, really, is just to keep going. Particularly for Tyler Bastilli as well. He's in, so he's probably going to be the one to watch here, because if he starts catching up to and putting himself in undercut range of the 2 British drivers, then you might want to get into the pits, Thomas, because that could be your ticket to getting back near these guys.
Well, yeah, that is. We'll wait and see. As Legend Rosenberg sets the fastest lap at the Grand Prix. Bastilli is in the pit lane as well, so we will have to we will have to wait and see what the strategy is. I said we'll have to wait and see most of the time. Sorry, still trying to fix the stream, folks, because I have no idea what's wrong with it, to be honest. But Leroy messaged me complaining about it, and I'm looking at it now, and it seems bad. There's a real fuzziness. So if anyone knows how to fix that, please let me know. But focusing on the race, look, I'm going to put my hands up and say this has been awful.
Yeah.
Compared to what we
well,
got last week, I think I'm the problem here. I think it's my returning. Get Kyle back. He's here for the crazy races.
Yep. Yeah, last week was very much one of the most competitive FVR races you ever got. Morris Strumer taking some liberties with the track limits of cops.
Oh, and they both come in on the same lap. Oh, that's disappointing.
I never thought people from the north and south of Britain could unite on anything. Not even their
Like
voting,
one of you guys says
apparently
dinner, the other says tea. Surely one of you has got to undercut each other.
We have Thomas Main leading the race now. We'll have to see if North or South gets better pit stops, and it looks like North is going to keep its place there. So now we have to watch for Rosenberg. He is going to be just well ahead, and you see 7.6 now. Mr. Main, he's going to be struggling a little bit out there. He'll probably have to go for a bit of an offset and hope it works.
It's a Saturday evening drive for Legend, isn't it?
Actually,
Oh,
Luke's being jumped.
Pistilli has introduced himself into the podium fight. It's something he does often in Formula Virtual Racing. Is he going to attack his namesake in towards the left-hander at Brooklands? No, he's not. And Luke is under pressure from Enzo King here. Enzo's on 5-lap old hards. You'd like to think Luke will have the upper hand in this fight, but anything can happen, and we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Davison is under pressure from Pistilli, who has those tyres fired up, and this could be a case of DRS swapping and changing throughout the course of the final stint. We're on 16 out of 26. If you're enjoying the action, make sure to pop a subscription on the YouTube stream. Give us a follow on Twitch if you're watching there. And make sure to check out all the other Formula Virtual Racing content. We post the best content out of any other league. There's no bias because I make it, so make sure to check out that. Here comes Pistilli.
The right.
And he's got the job done.
He's not done.
Tyler Pistilli is up and past Davison, his namesake, in towards Stowe Corner. That's made this very, very interesting. I'll tell you what, Leroy Van Schendel's watching at home, and he is definitely rooting on the Canadian because there could be a very good points all for Red Bull here.
Yeah, his stand-in is very much. I think it is a stand-in. Is doing a good job at the moment, and I'm going to have to just say, forget the British Civil War. We're going to have a Tyler Civil War, I'm afraid.
We are going to have the Battle of the Tylers. It's not the Battle of Canada today. It is the Battle of Tylers.
Yep, the Tylers have been selected from each nation, it seems. Obviously, Luke and Adrian we can't really do much with them, but these two we can. So that's actually Luke and Adrian are teammates. So there is furthermore irony in terms of the two who are considered a bit spares in all this.
15 seconds between Tyler Pistilli and Legend Rosenberg.
Oh my God! What?
That's mental.
The fact Luke Davies is in the championship lead here is actually impressive.
Yeah. That is very impressive. Luke needs to try and get past these guys. Thomas Main is into the pit lane. He's going to go set of softs to the end here, surely.
Surely you'd have to do something. Because he's definitely going to fall about probably 6 seconds behind because of undercuts. Oh, mediums, so clearly he just wants to go absolutely flat out. You see, Pistilli, Davison, Davies through, so's Enzo King.
So he wants... he's way behind here is Thomas Main. Because, of course, he was only about 6th or 7th anyways, and now add that in with the later pit stop. He's come out in 9th, so it's going to be a bit of a chase to the finish for Thomas Main. We'll wait and see how that plays out. But Davison is staying behind Pistilli for the time being, both relatively even on the battery, both relatively even on pace-wise. It makes you wonder, what the hell was Pistilli doing in qualifying?
Yeah, well, to be fair, we are wondering that most of the time. There still is a tendency to do laps upon laps on a set of tyres and then put in his fast lap. It's almost you'd think he hasn't actually practiced, so he uses the qualifying session as a practice. But it seems like now he's fixed up, and you'd wonder, had he been up there in qualifying, would he have been the guy in P2 trying to challenge Legend for a win, or at least give him more of a challenge? But you see now, Davison down the inside. It's sister cars versus each other, and you see, and that's going to be very, very important. Davison has the place and the advantage on the penalty count.
Pistilli's backed up here and he's gone for the up and under. What a great move from Tyler Pistilli. He does have the 3 seconds, so Davison can't do anything stupid here because this could be a good race result for him. A podium at home. He's won his home Grand Prix before. Davies never has. So this is what these two are fighting for. I don't think they're fighting for the win today, considering the race leader is 16.1 seconds up the road. This is, or will this be the Monaco performance completed for Legend Rosenberg? We'll have to wait and see, but certainly it's a statement. Can Tyler make a statement by getting past the Red Bull in front? It's AlphaTauri versus Red Bull in towards the left-hander of Brooklands, in towards the right-hander of Luffield. Davison's way in front. Pistilli didn't really find that one, and now he's got Luke Davies right on his tail, so we'll have to wait and see. Down towards Copse Corner. Pistilli not gaining in a straight line. Now he's gaining in a straight line because of that slipstream. 0.2 a second adrift. No, there'll be no move up the inside there for him. So we will have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think Davison, he struck back there, so the British Tyler has gotten the upper hand once again. And, well, now you see it's Tyler Pistilli to the right and in front. But it seems like Davies not doing much here. He was content to sit back. But he probably will have to try something.
Well, I mean, he sat back last week and then won the race. So who knows what happens when Luke Davies sits back.
Yeah, he sits back and then all of a sudden everyone else just loses their brain cells. Yeah. Sometimes you wonder if everyone else is the child.
As Thomas Main takes back a point in the championship off Legend Rosenberg. That's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Very good lap from Thomas. He's now 2 seconds or 2 tenths behind Tim Den Heyer, who is only a second and a half adrift of Can Duggar. Den Heyer a little bit wide. Here comes Thomas Main. Oh, that's so close into the loop from Thomas Main, but a great move for the Belgian. He's up and in front.
Yeah, I suppose he saw how close he was and thought, I need to get this done now or I lose time backing off. And you see now 1.3, if you can knock that down to about...
There goes Thomas's fastest lap. It now goes to Borbune.
I'd say Borbune, that's not bad. Picks up a point for the moment. You see now 1.1, 1.0. It needs the race to be get under, and it just won't.
Well, there's going to be a battle here heading in towards Stowe Corner because both the Brits are going for Pistilli. Davison's got it done. Davies wasn't able to get it done, but certainly had a look there. And in towards then the Vale chicane. Is there going to be a lunge down the inside from any of them? No, there will not. You can see on board the McLaren front wing how close these three cars are together. This is the real fight. It's the fight for second position because obviously Pistilli would like it as a one-off result. Davies would like it because it would minimise the points lost to Legend Rosenberg. Davison would like it because it would give him a stance potentially in the championship fight. Obviously, it still won't be ideal for Davison, as you can see the points on your screen now, but it would give him some hope. He feels hard done by that Italian Grand Prix, felt he could have won it, so we'll have to wait and see. Borbune has left the session, unfortunately. He was already 17.3 seconds behind 12th position. It's going to get a whole lot worse. The points-paying positions are not very irregular here today. We've got a load of the regular point scorers, such as Can Duggar, Wong Fee Anderson, Enzo King, maybe even in the point scoring paying positions. So we will. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say we'll wait and see. I am going to say it. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. As
Yeah.
this is how it's playing out. It's Thomas Main going for it towards Cop's corner. Can Dulger was not able to fight the Belgian through there. That's just pure tyre advantage, really, isn't it? However, Can is going to be a beneficiary of all these cars with penalties in front, because as of now, he would gain over Wong Fei and of Thomas Main. But Wong Fei and Thomas Main both have better tyres to the end of this race. Pistilli, back past Davison.
Wong Fei past Enzo, but I make the point about Thomas. That is a 10 seconds, remember? For
Oh, yeah, that's going to be removed.
off.
Apologies, yeah, you're spot on there.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Wong Fei up to 5th place, as the Enzo should be able to gain that back for penalties. But there's another Williams going to head his way, and that might play a role in this.
As Borbune has joined back, nice to have you back here, Borbune. Gap up the front is now 18.5 seconds. The only thing I forgot as well is Pistilli also has a free second time penalty, so unless that can be removed, we will have 2 of the 3 podium places as British drivers, but Davison still wants to get in front. Full tank of DRS, or ERS I should say, so that is just a pure DRS pass from the number 58.
Yeah, so I'd say Davison, he's very much got this under control, I think. But it'll just be about whether he can just keep in the right place at the right time and use the ERS at the right time, because he very much could break away here if he just controls this in the right way.
As Luke Davies tucked right up behind Tyler Pistilli, is he now going to have his first attack of the day? Yes, he is. Gaining and gaining. Is it going to be the pair of them from Lightning Luke in towards the right-hander of Stowe? He's gone up the inside of one, but no. Was just boxed in there. Now Davison still going to try to defend from Pistilli. The 2 Tylers are side by side in towards the left-hander and then in towards the quick flick to the right. Can Davies maybe... I was going to say, could he reenact his... idol Lewis Hamilton, but he's almost reenacted his other idol Thomas Main and ending up in the gravel trap there. No change in position, mind you, despite the 3 of them scrapping at it. However, I can't imagine it's going to stay like that till the end of the race.
Yeah, it's probably not going to stick the same way, at least for a bit. It could end the same way, but I imagine we'll have to be rearranging the deck chairs, really. Not on the Titanic, but...
Whoa, Brendan. Okay.
Well, I mean, sometimes that might... If, for Luke Davies, this might be what it feels like, because... You are in a championship league.
No, I'm sorry, we're not comparing the Titanic to a virtual league racing championship. We're not doing that.
Oh, right, sorry.
Those are 2 completely different scenarios. As yellow flag through the final corner, that is Julius Gassner, who's gone round. Too late for a safety car, though, so we're going to have a safety car free race, which I'm sure the drivers will like. After having raced in Monza, I'm not sure you guys at home would have liked that, but here comes Pistilli up the inside. Davies nowhere near close for a move this time round. As Tyler Davison, is he able to fight back here, or is he just going to sit behind? No. See, I think Tyler likes to be in front of Pistilli because it fends off any move from Luke Davies.
Yeah, I see Davies here. He'll have to make a move soon, but he doesn't really have the resources to do so.
We got very close there, does Luke Davies.
Yeah.
Maybe this might be
I think
a last lap job from Luke Davies, but if we look at the steering wheels, Tyler has the batch. Oh, that doesn't really... It's the meme. Do you have any idea how to narrow that doesn't slim it or whatever? But Tyler Davison...
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Tyler Davison has the full tank of ERS. Another swap of the Williams team. Thomas Main back up to 5th. If something goes wrong in this battle for 2nd and 3rd, Thomas could still gain from this. Or if Thomas could gain... Oh, the timers! Look at these! Oh, Luke Davies up the inside into Cop's corner! My goodness me, did that catch me off guard. But that's an impressive showing from Luke Davies. Tyler often says Luke has no racecraft. Luke replies and says, well, probably a word I couldn't say, but he chucked it up the inside in towards Cop's corner. What a great move from the young Brit. Davison going to have to fight this one back now. He's going to take that one personal. We're on to the penultimate lap of the race, or certainly the race leader is. These guys will be coming on to the penultimate lap in a moment. What a cracker of a move from Luke Davies. I'd love to see that one on board.
Yeah, Davies. Oh wait, Davison's. He's made a mistake there. But he's the one person who can afford this because look at the amount of ERS he's got. He can easily make up that.
Yeah, and Luke and
Uh,
Tyler communicate during a race. I can safely say to you, Tyler has not communicated the fact he has 100% battery to Luke Davies. These two are
yeah,
competitors. Friends first, maybe. Competitors second. On the track, it's definitely vice versa.
yeah. You would hope so, nearly, because otherwise we just have a very
Yeah,
boring
a bit of a snooze
procession.
fest.
Yeah. So, hopefully, good-natured competitiveness is probably the what we're looking for then. And you see
Oh,
Davison with 100%
sorry, I
ERS.
just noticed something. Look how satisfying that tyre tree is. All the mediums at the top, all the hards in the middle, all the softs at the bottom. It's like a Pirelli Neapolitano. Or Neapolitan, or
Yeah,
whatever the ice
it's
cream
just
is called. You know the one we have the black, the white, the pink,
oh,
and
oh,
the two
someone
wafers.
had to ruin it.
Oh, Morris,
Someone
how
had to
dare
ruin
you take a points paying place as these two are side by side. Oh, look who it is! It's Adrian Tishy and Morris Stewart. The battle rages on. The
Oh,
battle.
Davison, he's gonna go for this one. But
Here
he's
he
been a bit
goes around the
blocked off by
outside. Doesn't want to
Castelli.
leave
Now
it
he's
till the
got
last
Davies.
lap. Oh, wheel
Oh,
banging.
wi-
Bit of banging between the two wheels, between the two Brits. Davison, big lunge,
oh,
almost trying the block pass. Luke Davies tries it round the outside. That then becomes the inside. Oh,
oh,
as Tyler's been pushed off the circuit and has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That puts Pastilli in a podium placing. So that's going to be a little bit, or that's going to enrage Tyler, I should say, meaning Luke maybe might be in a bit of trouble here. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. I think that's for Julius Gassner. Luke is
oh,
slowly slowing Tyler down here. Luke, of course, will have the DRS, so there'll be no DRS games that play here from Luke Davies like sometimes we've seen. But they're going to weave all the
oh,
way down towards the left-hander of Brooklands. It's the two Brits for the final podium placing at home. Davison to the outside. Davies has the inside. That's not going to work in a month of Sundays from the Alpha Tower. He's going to have to tuck right back up behind and hope for the best here. Legend Rosenberg is just exiting Chapel Curve to come home to win this British Grand Prix, but we're going to stay on board with this battle. Luke Davies is ahead. Is Davison going to shove a wheel up the inside in Cops Corner like we saw him do? No, he's actually ran a bit wide there. Luke has little to nothing in terms of the battery. Red light flashing. He'll be very much aware of that. Just a quick look at Legend Rosenberg, who's entering in towards the final couple of corners. It's been a Sunday drive, really, from him. He takes the win at the
Davies
British
doesn't have
Grand Prix, but
DRS.
we're back on board with the battle. Here comes Tyler Davison to the outside of Luke Davies. The two Brits are going to battle. There's nothing Luke can do. Davison will come home on top, but that will be pending investigation from that time penalty. Legend Rosenberg wins the British Grand Prix. Tyler Pastilli from back to second will take second position. However, Luke Davies will inherit that second position, and then it will be Davison who drops to fourth spot. Thomas Main will come home in fifth, a good showing there. He will drop down below, but will be getting that 10-second penalty removed. Cam Duggar jumps up to sixth spot. Enzo King in seventh. Tim Den Heyer will come home in ninth. And then is Adrian going to have a lunge here in towards the final corner? He is. It's a big send from Adrian Tishy up the inside. Bit of a nudge between the pair. Is it going to be the up and under for Adrian Tishy? Oh, it was going to be, but he's just nicked the back right corner of the German's machine. And Adrian will come home 2/10 off the point placings in 11th. Borbune is under pressure from Nils Hardel. This is the battle for the final on-track position, really, because Julius was a lap down. Here comes Nils Hardel to the outside. This is the first bit of screen time, really, Nils Hardel's got today, so you can only apologise for that. But Nils Hardel gets it done round the outside. Much better tyres than Borbune. But Legend, 22-second win. Bit of a statement after last week, he goes, look what happens when I'm not taken out.
yeah, well, obviously Davison fourth for now, but that could very well be second place, pending the investigation. I'd say a very aggressive battle, but they kept it on the right side.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. It was aggressive, but good. But good. Aggressive, but good. And that's what we want, really, here in Formula Virtual Racing. We want that hard racing, but we want it clean. We want it fair.
Yep, there's a balance to be struck, and I think they got as close as you really could to it.
Bit of a difference from last week, though. I don't think there will be many stewards' reports from that one. Well, at least I hope not.
Yeah, what's funny? that wasn't even the biggest winning margin at Silverstone, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, because
Like
Avesta
this,
Gobadi got a mad one once, didn't he? And
yes,
when
I mean
Lewis had an
like that
absolute
one was
stinker and Legend went on his brief sabbatical to get bigger and better things.
yeah.
But here's your full race results.
Even
Legend
yeah.
Rosenberg takes the race win with a race winning time of 39 minutes 22 seconds. That's probably one of the quickest races in FVR history. Luke Davies in second, Pastilli then in third, then it was Davison, Anderson, Dulger, King, Main, Den Heyer, then it was Stumer, Tushy, Bune, Hartle, and Julius Gassner. I'd like to think, hopefully, we can get an interview from some of our top three. Luke usually obliges. Yes, we've Legend and Luke standing by. Let's bring them in. Hello, Legend and Luke. Can you hear us?
Loud and clear.
Legend, have you just woken up from that one? That seemed to be pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm still awake, but
You
yeah,
don't
it was a
sound
fun
it, to be brutally honest.
one. Yeah, I was lying. I still need to wake up a little bit.
Good qualifying. You got away at the start, and I kind of don't really have anything else to ask you because you literally made that so easy, and it looked like you were just pumping in time trial laps for that rate for the 26 laps of this race.
Yeah, it did felt like that a little bit. Obviously, I was in a different strategy than everybody else, which I already knew from lap one onwards that it's going to be like a time trial stint. And yeah, I was a little bit praying around the pit stops that there were no safety cars, because then all my lead would have been gone and I would have been behind the pack. But that didn't happen for the first time really in a long time, and yeah, I just drove my own race, and without issues. This is the kind of results I can put in.
In terms of the championship now, obviously that's points gained on Luke and certainly points gained on Avesta. How do you see the last three races going, and do you think we'll be crowning you champion at the end of it?
Well, yeah, 3 races is still a lot. There's still a lot that can happen. Obviously, Luke is still in front. He has a good season. He's very consistent. So anything can happen. But if those 3 races go the way that it did go today, like just drive my own race and no issues whatsoever with everybody else or safety cars or whatever, then I think I can wrap it up. But I don't want to judge too soon. I'm just having fun at the moment, and we will see. Take it race by race, and yeah, may the best man win.
Brendan, any questions from yourself?
It's just obviously you say it's what happens when you do put it in, and then someplace like Monaco, you make the mistake. Do you think did that play any effect in your mind where you're just out there on your own? Isn't it like you're nearly too far ahead to be comfortable because you're just having to just manage yourself. You're trying to think, do I have to do this X, Y, Z, or is it just the further out you are, the more relaxed you are?
No, I don't want to get too comfortable, because just like today, I was so far in the lead. I was thinking about making an extra pit stop to get that extra point for the fastest lap, but in the back of my mind, I thought, why risk it? I'm in first place, and yeah, this is the maximum. I can risk it for one more point, but why should I? Yeah, I don't know. It's just better safe than over push it, and yeah, ruin everything.
Legend, thank you very much for joining us. We do greatly appreciate it. And yeah, go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Same to you.
Luke Davies then, second position for you. It's a podium at home, and you finally came out on top over Mr. Davison. A good day all round for you?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I drove that well. I know I've got second, but I suspect Tyler will have a penalty removed because picked up a 3 seconds while side by side with me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say P3 probably. But yeah, to be honest, yeah, I didn't just wasn't connected with the car today like I was maybe last season. And yeah, obviously Legend just kind of drove into the sunset. But yeah. yeah, after Monza, obviously, Monza was a weird race, but yeah, coming into this one, obviously, I had the qualifying position, but I don't think any other driver ever in this league could have really done what Legend did, which is just kept extending the gap on the softs even up to the pit stop. So it just was always getting away. So yeah, I mean, I had a good battle with Tyler. The in-game penalty decided it, but yeah, as I said, we'll probably be in the stewards' room. So yeah, I think I still hold the lead even if Tyler gets one removed. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the podium. I don't think Pistilli will get his 3-second removed, and yeah, just got to stay consistent. My confidence is still the same level. I've not lost anything in that respect. I know what can happen. So does Legend. But yeah, going to be an interesting last three. Hopefully, I can just keep my head in the game.
Well, I'll cast your mind back to season 6 when you were in a similar position. Legend had maybe an unlucky start to the season or missed some of the season. I know it was different in both cases. You had a good season overall, and then we get to those final 3 rounds. Legend starts performing back to his best, and things maybe are a little bit shaky for yourself. Is it going to be different this time round?
I think it will. I'm a better driver now. I know Legend is, and I know the league as a whole has just gotten 10 times better in terms of just pure pace and what the drivers are capable of now. But yeah, it's really similar to 2 years ago. I hope I've learned some lessons from that. I know I have. But yeah, I think it is similar. I think the key thing is that I know I can win. I've won a championship. I've got that over the line. That's without a shadow of a doubt now. I know what I can do. So yeah, the only thing is the pack is around me, Legend. If he gets ahead, then he just kind of sails away and has a very boring race for himself. So yeah, but I know I can win, and yeah, hopefully I'm celebrating come Abu Dhabi.
Would you prefer an interesting second to a boring first?
Um, depends when you're on the championship. This was an interesting race. But I can't imagine it's that interesting for Legend. But yeah, I mean, I'd take a first place any day, but if you're not having fun while racing, then why are you doing it? I guess.
Brendan, any questions for the championship leader? Oh God, why did I
Uh,
call that?
oh no, don't feed his ego. Yeah, but it's a 7 point gap now. This is assuming that URP2, I think Tyler probably will be able to look and see if he can get that last warning removed. But a 7 point gap, and with the remaining tracks being Singapore, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, how would you think you're set for those 3 tracks? Would they be ones you'd be looking forward to? Think there's an opportunity to get some big points and maintain a gap, or are you thinking I'll need to just try my best and hope for something to come my way?
Well, I think I mean, both the races I've won this season have come from, in some ways, Legend misfortune. I mean, I would have won Monza anyway if Legend had a penalty, but obviously, I've got the lead because of that big crash. So I know that much. I just need to be able to capitalise. I know I can, and I think I will. But yeah, those 3 tracks are pretty hectic. Um, you know, they're just they're just tracks you don't really want to be trying to have a safe race in. Singapore has had some crazy stuff happen. We never had a repeat winner, and yeah, Qatar was a crazy race last season, and finale is always interesting anyway. So I know what I can do, and I just need to do it.
Luke Davies, thank you very much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. That's all we do have time for here, ladies and gentlemen of the British Grand Prix. It was Legend Dominance, the order of the day, but there is potential for 2 British drivers to be on the podium. So still a good day for the home faithful. Join us next time out where we head to Marina Bay for the Singaporean Grand Prix. It's bound to be an interesting one. Of course, as Luke said, never a repeat winner there. Which random driver will be on top in the newly refurbished Marina Bay? From myself and Brendan, thank you very much for joining us for Formula Virtual Racing. Tune in next week, of course, and make sure to subscribe to all our channels. Please do. Please, it's free, and if you pop a like on the video, it'll recommend it more to YouTube and tell YouTube that you're enjoying it. So please do that. Would greatly appreciate if you could do that, and we will leave you with a quick word from our title sponsors. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye. Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.